Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you are having a lovely week so far. Happy Thursday. We have started off this afternoon here in Oldonyo over in Kenya. It's been a very busy last couple of days in Oldonyo. Lots of elephants. Goodness gracious me. Never seen so many elephants at one location before. Giraffe. There's been a few elephants coming through as well. We had one ton at this location last week and a very big tusker called One Tusk, which in the name is a one-tusked elephant. Very big boy. My name is Kerry Dupree and I'll be with you today here live at the Waterhole on our directors team over in Johannesburg. We also have Nadine and on our tech side we have John this afternoon. So just a reminder that this is a live and interactive experience. Don't forget to send through those questions and comments. You can scan the QR code on screen now. If you're using Twitter or X, don't forget to use the hashtag, and viewers can also send through their questions and comments on WhatsApp. So please feel free to send through those questions and comments today. I might send a few questions out to our viewers, so I'd love to hear your feedback about some of our locations. Lovely to be with you this afternoon. It looks like a very chilled, relaxing day over in Oldonyo. Some clouds are building up. What a lovely afternoon and a great way to start our day. So hello to some of our viewers. We already got a few of our viewers sending through some comments. Hello Ellie, welcome. And Harriet Hodgen, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So Ellie is from Germany and Harriet is from Cape Town. Thank you for joining in the chitter chatter of the afternoon. And yes, Ellie, this is a beautiful way to start our show this afternoon. So we had quite a few female giraffe yesterday, but when was it? On Tuesday. It was about 10 to 12 males, so I'm sure there's been a bit of a giraffe conference somewhere in the area, because there's just been giraffe coming and going to Oldonyo, this pan here, for the last couple of days. It's been incredible to see so many giraffe. Ari, thank you for joining us, and Ari is joining from the Netherlands. So thank you for watching, and all of our viewers that are watching at different times, different time zones, thank you for tuning in, even if it's very late at night for you. Really grateful to have the company this afternoon. This female giraffe looks like she's ruminating a little bit, deciding if she wants to have one more drink of water before moving on with the rest of her group. Had a few solitary elephant bulls also joining us here as well at Oldonyo. I've been praying that this week we might see as many predators as possible. We had a really awesome cheetah sighting earlier in the week, and I'd love to see the secretary birds that are normally here, and any other predators would be pretty cool. So the comments are flooding through. Thank you folks for sending your comments. So we've got Perry Dubois, loves the patterns of the Maasai giraffe. Yes, Perry, I was reading up yesterday on giraffe, and a lot of giraffe, especially the males, the older they get, with the elevated hormone levels, their colors, their patterns of spots do get a bit darker, and this is quite prominent in the Maasai giraffe. That's why they have that darker coloration. So Deb Davis, that is a new member from Pennsylvania, USA. Thank you for joining us, Deb. Lovely to have some new viewers with us this afternoon. Mindy, thank you for joining us, Mindy. It's been great, all these giraffe sightings, Mindy. I don't think I've seen this much giraffe in quite some time, so it's lovely to see these large land mammals. Our female giraffe has decided that she does want to have one last drink before heading off on the rest of her afternoon's endeavors. Lulu, so we've got another South African here. Lulu, that is South African but living in the UK. Thank you for joining us, Lulu. I hope this lovely sunny day over in Oldonyo in Kenya brightens up your day in the UK. I know there's been a bit of muggy cold weather in the UK, so I hope that this helps brighten up your day. Harriet, this is surely an iconic picture of Africa. So I'm seeing at least 4 giraffes. If you look over to the right, oh no, there's about 4 or 5 giraffe currently just that have frequented this pan, but throughout this week we've had a minimum of 10 to 15 giraffe at this watering hole at any one time, which is quite a large amount of giraffe to come through. We also had a Grant's gazelle here yesterday, which was really awesome to see a male Grant's gazelle, a very interesting little antelope. Looks a bit bigger than a springbok and incredible horns, much thicker than that of the springbok. So our Lara Moore, yes, this elephant bull seems pretty relaxed. He's quite tolerant of these giraffe that are around. I won't say that for all of the elephant bulls. We've had some bulls earlier this week that were chasing guinea fowl away from the watering hole, so elephants can sometimes hog watering holes and chase other species away. But yeah, great to see the giraffe and this elephant are all drinking together in harmony today. He seems very relaxed, this elephant bull, not in musk or having any emotional issues. So always great to find elephant bulls that are like this, just very calm and very relaxed. Lorraine is sending in her comments today from a very rainy Southern Cape. So yeah, good luck with that rain, Lorraine. We have had a little bit of thunder and lightning here in Johannesburg just before the show started, and it's been raining at least once a day for the last couple of days. I think it did rain a little bit last night, so yeah, maybe these are the last rains of the season. I know a lot of us are kind of a little bit over the rain, those weekends of staying in because there's so much rain. So yeah, I know a lot of regions of Africa are probably starting to slow down with the rainfall, especially in southern Africa, whereas in West Africa the dry season is just beginning. So yeah, incredible how the different rainfall patterns change throughout Africa. So Bill apparently counted 19 giraffe about 15 minutes ago, and I am not surprised, Bill. I think the highest count of giraffe I've had this week at this watering hole was at least 15, so I'm not surprised you had a very high count of 19 giraffe. There have been a few females that are in estrus that these males could also be collecting in this area, following those females that are in season. It does attract and allure a lot of males to come into an area. So it could be a reason we have so many giraffe around at the moment. So Spas Iankov is greeting us today from Bulgaria. And yeah, Spas, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And yeah, lovely to have these giraffe. We've got this very curious male here. So it looks like we've got some grey crowned cranes over in Wangi National Park in Zimbabwe, folks. So why don't we head across to the Wangi National Park and see if we can have a look at those cranes while they're still around. Wow, check at this, folks. So this is one of our new cameras that the African team has set up, and yeah, it's incredible to be able to see a place in Zimbabwe, which is my home. If we have any other Zimbabweans watching today, please give us a shout out and a holla. I'm sure seeing this scenery is a very familiar sight to some of our Zimbabweans that spend a lot of time visiting Wangi National Park. So it is a very common place for locals to go and visit. It's like South Africa's Kruger National Park, sort of the equivalent, so one of the biggest national parks in southern Africa. It's known to be the same size as Wales, so it's a massive town, Wales or New Jersey, so it is a massive game reserve. And this location here is actually outside of Wangi National Park, to right in front of the Wangi Safari Lodge, and this time of year is the best time to get your cranes, grey-crowned cranes. Lots of incredible birding, so it's very green, as you can see. These cranes all flock in to this beautiful location, as well as lots of storks, hobbies, kites. You get lots of ducks coming in, your little pygmy geese, yellow-billed ducks, yellow-billed storks. So it's an absolute birder's paradise at this time of year. Oh, and don't forget the lilies. You get these incredible carpets of flay lilies in these open salt pan areas. They're between white, pink to purple, and it just litters the soil with these beautiful flay lilies, this white and pink or green and pink carpets all over the place. So lovely to be able to see these cranes. And of course we've got some zebra. This female to the left looks a little bit pregnant, or quite a bit pregnant, and some wildebeest. So we've got a few more viewers. Patricia S is greeting us from Canada. Catherine, Shames, looks like you're having some very cold weather over in Germany. I hope you keep warm in that snowy cold weather. And Perry Du Bois commented about these cranes. Yes, it's a lot of cranes that come through. The biggest flock of cranes that I've ever seen in Wangi was probably about 35 or 40 cranes. So they do flock to this area because of the food this time of year. So when there's lots of grass, it does provide a lot of grains and seeds, insects, and little amphibians for these cranes to feed on. They often use a bit of a stamping behavior to flush out the insects. So as they're walking through the grass, they'll stamp their feet on the ground. This helps to flush out insects so that they can feed on. So this is quite interesting behavior that they do. These cranes are also known for their very elaborate courtship displays. So the males will have this very, very royal mating display that they have. The males will bow down and jump up and down while fanning his wings. So he'll often fan his wings out, stretch them back up while jumping up and down to impress the female crane. So I'm going to find the call for these cranes, because although they are quite beautiful, they don't have the most attractive call, but it is a very iconic call. So let's have a look. I'll see using my Merlin app to see if we can find the grey-crowned crane call. So I'm going to play this vocalization from you. Again, as I mentioned, it's not the most beautiful of bird calls. It's quite unusual. There we go. So that is the call of these grey-crowned cranes. You often hear them way before you actually see them. So Wild at Heart is sending a shout out, another Zimbabwean. Thank you for joining us, Wild at Heart. So apparently there were some wildebeest and zebra earlier also at this watering hole, and a few days ago a very small little baby zebra. I know they did have the other night, there was a video that was on the African Instagram page of a zebra that had very unusual facial colors. There are some zebra in the park. There's one zebra that I call the QR code zebra because she has a very unusual pattern on her back, which is becoming a lot more common in zebra. These kind of pigment or color deformities in zebra. So it's incredible to see that zebra. I've seen her once before. It was quite cool. So Spas is asking about the flay lilies that we have in Wangi National Park. I'll have to find the scientific name, Spas. It is quite a long one, and I remember with some researchers in the park we had quite lengthy arguments and debates as to what the correct scientific name is, but I just know them as flay lilies, so I'll have a look up on that one and send it to you sometime. But they're incredible lilies. Again, as I mentioned, they come in a white color, white, pink, and a light purple. So they've got the green leaves on the ground and these incredible lilies that specifically grow in these open plains, especially Sodak areas, these open sodium areas. It's pretty crazy. Starbuck, we have another shout out from a Zimbabwean. Thank you for watching this afternoon, Starbuck. And Catherine, it is definitely a beautiful view. These cranes, I think they must be one of my favorite cranes. I love the red wattle underneath their neck. It's got these white patches on their cheeks, and of course that very spiky crown of theirs. So what a beautiful bird, especially in flight. So they normally make that vocalization when they are in flight. It's when you hear them calling, communicating to each other. They also make a bit of a strange sound while doing their breeding or mating display. So Ziggy, these are grey-crowned cranes. They are residents, but in most areas they're locally nomadic and they move with the rains. So grey-crowned cranes, they are very similar to the black-crowned crane, but they differ in their coloration. They're a bit of a slaty grey coloration. What do we have here? Like little termite mounds. So lots of termite mounds in this area. And yeah, what attracts a lot of these migratory birds that I was speaking about earlier, all these migratory birds come through here to feed on the flush of insects and termites in the rainy season. Have a look at this pan if there's any crocodiles. I saw a video on the African Instagram page of a crocodile that had caught a little baby wildebeest here a few months ago. No, it must have been a few weeks ago, or December or early January. Pretty crazy sighting. Those crocodiles are quite petrifying. I've seen them on a few occasions, a little bit frightening. Wouldn't want to get too close to that water. So thank you for your comment, Kevin from Hardle UK. Thank you for watching today. Yeah, it's a lovely sunny day here in southern Africa in most of our locations, although the rain seems to be pitter-pattering in Johannesburg. But yeah, hasn't been too much rain here in Wangi Safari Lodge area for a couple of days now, but you can see it's lush green, lots of vegetation for all the wildlife here. Very special time of the year. New growth, new life, lots of babies running around, lots of birds, all those migratory birds following the insects. So Perry Du Bois is asking about any specific differences between the male and female. Not that I know of, Perry. I'll have a look here, but they pretty much look to be very much similar size. So you do have monogamous pairs that do mate for life. They nest in wetland areas, and they do build quite large platform nests made out of reeds and grass. The female will lay between 2 to 4 eggs, and the incubation period for these cranes is 28 to 31 days. They are an endangered species due to habitat destruction and wetland damage. So, for example, this is an area I've done a lot of horseback safaris, especially this pan, the lodge that I do some of the horse safaris from, is literally just down this flay. So, yeah, to the western side of this flay. And yeah, I ride around this pan quite a lot. So if I was riding in this area today, I would definitely log and record these cranes. So I do have a few friends still in the area. I might tell them to come and have a look, check out these cranes. Although this time of year, the cranes are all over the place. You can easily see 30 to 60 cranes all in one day. Such beautiful birds. What a lovely scenery. So, Captain, there is lots of activity happening at this pan. Yeah, definitely a busy spot. Elephants do rush in here for a drink. So during the dry season, this is one of the only watering holes in this area. So obviously in Wangi National Park, there is an organization called Friends of Wangi that does assist with a lot of the maintaining of the park, so they assist the local national parks to help keep water in the pans, keep the boreholes running, keep the solar panels up to date, and that provides water to animals inside the park. But outside of the park, there's very few places where there's water for these animals to drink, except for in front of private camps. So yeah, this definitely is a pan that is accessible to lots of animals when the dry season comes and there's no water in all the little puddles and watering holes. Lots of little butterflies around at the moment as well. Another sign of the green season, of the rains. Nothing better than being in Africa during the rainy season. Alright, we've got a question from Mindy, which I'll answer in a moment. Let's head back across to Tau and see what is happening at Tau Game Lodge over in Madikwe, South Africa. Oh, here's our crocodile, folks. Have a look, have a look. We have been dying to find our crocodiles the last couple of days. Not seen them. He's just at the bottom left of the screen, going out of screen right now. Been looking for him for a couple of days, and we also have a grey heron sitting up in the acacia tree there, but the crocodile caught my eye first. This pan seems to be filling up quite a lot with this reed vegetation, so it's limiting the areas where the crocodiles can move. But it's been a few days since we saw our crocodiles here at Tau, so very exciting to see those crocodiles. And of course we have a couple of elephants. Well, there's one elephant down at the water and another big bull making his way down to the water. It looks like a nice hot day over in Madikwe Game Reserve. Nice weather for these elephants to have a good old mud bath. Some zebra also coming down to join us at the watering hole, and I'm hoping we see our ostriches. I don't know, you don't see ostriches very often, so they always kind of give me a good old chuckle. They're quite an unusual looking bird if you think about it. Very strange looking bird. So Mindy had a question about if there is one breed of horse that is best suited for horse safaris. So Mindy, yes, I would most definitely say that a lot of horseback safari companies are moving towards your border pads. So your border pad horses that are bred in South Africa, a little very short farm ponies, are very hardy, very resilient, and yeah, don't have a lot of issues when it comes to being in the bush around wild animals. And the one breed of horse that I would say is not well suited for horseback safaris are thoroughbreds, or I call them horrorbreds. They are very high maintenance, get sick if you look at them the wrong way, and they just don't do well out in the bush. So definitely there are specific breeds of horses that survive better out in the bush. They have to be very hardy, a lot of horses struggle with their hooves, with their feet, hard ground, the insects, lots of nasty biting insects that can irritate their skin, and of course the food and diet. They're not going to be pampered and fed 5-star grass and 5-star feed, so they need to be able to survive out in the bush. So yeah, these border pads definitely a great horse for horseback safaris. I know zebra, lots of people have always joke about maybe zebra would be good for riding and horseback safaris as well, but unfortunately if you have a look at these zebra, it's the reason why certain animals should stay out in the bush. So I know throughout the decades in the 60s and 70s they did used to use zebra for pulling milk cartons, and periodically there's a few photos I have seen of people riding zebra, very small people. And if you've watched Racing Stripes, I'm sure this was a very popular movie to watch in the, was it the 90s, late 90s? But if you have a look at these zebra, they have very flat backs. The females' backs are a little bit more arched, but that's because of them carrying babies, because of them being pregnant. But generally zebras are very short, stubby, and very flat backs. So they don't have a weight carrying back which is suitable for carrying weight. So yeah, zebras are better to stay in the wild. Would not make very good trail ponies. The males would also fight quite a lot too. Quite a big herd of, or harem of zebra coming down. So Catherine, thanks for sending through your comment about your horse not being suitable for horse safaris, as he wants to play with every animal. We have had this case when you're on horseback and you see zebra in the wild. I have been cantering along a flay and zebra all of a sudden started following us. I don't know, they were just a bit curious, but yeah, I'm always very wary of getting too close to zebra while on horse safaris. Sometimes the stallions can be a little bit too curious and you don't want to get a kick from a zebra. It can be a little bit nasty. But I do find, I know maybe there's a lot of people against horseback safaris, but I do find that it is one of the best ways to game view. It's very quiet, very low impact on the environment. You can move through the bush silently. Animals, other game, think of you as another animal, so they kind of really relate to each other, and they don't get a fright instantly. They don't suspect that you're a human. So that's one of my favorite ways to be on safari. Also, lovely. So I have a question for our viewers. I've been watching a lot of the Africam videos from all of our locations, and I'd like to ask our viewers, what is your favorite Africam moment here from either live at the waterhole, or if it was a moment that wasn't live at the waterhole? I've been seeing a lot of incredible leopard videos from Lentore of a small female leopard that frequents that watering hole quite often. Catherine mentioned about the striped hyena that also visit Lentore. I saw caracal at Lentore on the videos as well. Here at Tau, one of my favorite moments was when the crocodile almost killed a wildebeest, or when a crocodile was also ripping apart a little waterbuck. Shame for the waterbuck, but everything needs to eat. It was a crazy day. So we found this crocodile. He was actually on the bank, and he had this little piece of, for the first couple of moments we didn't actually know what it was, and eventually we figured out it was probably a little baby waterbuck that ventured too far into the mud and got captured by the crocodile. And the crocodile, probably to get away from the other crocodiles in the small pan, dragged it onto the shoreline and started thrashing about this piece of baby waterbuck to finish eating. And it was about half an hour we watched. It was incredible. So if you have some special moments like this, they're your favorite moments on the Africam cameras or here live at the waterhole, I'd love to hear these special moments of yours. My favorite Tembe moment was when we saw the lions. We've seen 3 lionesses over in Tembe. And my favorite moment on Nguma is the other day, Monday. We saw a cheetah, which was pretty cool. It looked like it was about to jump onto one of the decks of the rooms. So yeah, please, I'd love to hear these moments that you have cherished from the Africam cameras. So Lara I'm just reading up, we're getting some comments. So Lara is sending a comment through here about joining on a horseback safari. So yeah, Lara, there's a lot of amazing locations that you can get into horseback safaris in Africa, but all over the world actually. I know Patagonia, over in South America, a lot of incredible rides. So juvenile grey heron just sitting up here. I think he's learning the method of hunting, because there's a swaying movement that these grey herons normally make while trying to hunt, but he's nowhere near the water, so he still needs to catch up on that. Just reading through some more comments. So Spas Ienkov is mentioning about in Tau, it is a great place for zebra. And speaking about horses, apparently in the Western Cape there are wild horses in the salt pans and in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Yes, Spas, I have heard about these wild horses, and even in Namibia they do have wild horses that roam in Namibia, which is a very strange concept to me. So yeah, you do get wild horses out there, still roam around wild and free, probably how they should be. Yeah. Lady Macbeth apparently fancies meeting a lion pride on horseback. So Lady Macbeth, all the lion sightings I've had on horseback have all been a little bit stressful, should you say. But again, when you have very good safari horses that are well accustomed to encountering big game like elephants and lions, then yeah, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. But the issue is you never know what your guests' horses are going to do. You don't know what your guests are going to do, and you're also not sure about what the lions are going to do. So the best thing is always just keep together in a tight little huddle. Face the lions, never turn your bottom on a lion, otherwise natural instinct does kick in, and these lions' first instinct is to jump onto their horse's rump, as they're used to doing this with zebra. So yeah, I hope that you get this experience one day, Lady Macbeth. So Lion 8 is sending through a comment about one of his favorite creatures, and I don't blame you for loving the honey badger or rattle. It is definitely a very strong creature, brave, feisty character, and very good at defending itself against predators. I've seen many videos of a rattle or honey badger escaping the jaws or clutches of leopards, lions. I think on the African website as well, there's some videos of no, where was it? It was at Tembe. Yeah, it was at Tembe. This it was actually a porcupine that was running away and chasing a leopard. Incredible little feisty creatures. So getting some more comments from Catherine. Apparently you had a location where a crocodile was ambushing and attacking another crocodile repeatedly. That's quite an unusual sighting, Catherine. Well done on that one. Very, very unusual. Lenny's favorite sighting was at Rosie's Pan, some wild dogs catching a pregnant impala. And apparently Liam was the naturalist there. Sounds like a crazy sighting to have here at Live at the Waterhole. So well done for that sighting there. Ludwig Alexander sending through a comment. Apparently you're watching the show now and keeping you very motivated. Madikwe is a lovely place, and the zebra and wildebeest, always zebra and wildebeest at this location. Lovely to see them here. Hoping those ostriches might pop out. Maybe if we're lucky there's a cheetah. I know there's a female cheetah that resides in this area. I think her name is Arsha. Is her name Arsha? And she's got 2 little cubs. It was seen a few weeks ago, so lovely to see that. Another highlight coming in here is Spas Ienkov. This highlight was seeing a cheetah at Tembe and Lentore. Amazing sightings with baboons. Oh yes, I remember that sighting, Spas, when we had those baboons over at Lentore. That was very entertaining afternoon, I must say, watching a troop of baboons. Mindy sending her favorite moment on the Africam cameras. Apparently Mindy saw a young lion encounter with a family of porcupines. That is sounds like a great sighting. I know there was a video the other night uploaded that Spas sent me on Instagram of it's a lion over in Aldonyo that was stalking a buffalo that was at the pan. And this buffalo, I don't know if he knew the lion was there and just wasn't afraid, but this lion was so close to jumping on the back of this buffalo, but I think the size of this big male buffalo just intimidated the lion, and the buffalo kept looking back, not seeing anything, and the lion kept moving to the side. It was a very long, drawn-out video, and I don't think the lion pounced on the buffalo. It could have been a youngster just practicing. So it's incredible the things that are captured on these cameras, especially at night. I think if you struggle to sleep watching these Africam cameras, just playing that in the background, you might witness some very incredible animal behavior. So Bill is sending his favorite African moment. Apparently Bill's favorite moment was seeing Lewaya, the snared lion, come into Oldonyo Pan one night alive, and she saw him get help during the day. Maybe they helped to remove the snare. And if it wasn't seen that night, she could have suffocated from a nasty snare injury. So just want to say a big thank you to all of our viewers that do report things like this, because it's very helpful for the conservation reserve teams in the area to know about things like this. It's really helps to save animals' lives. I know at Tau we had one afternoon where there was a baby zebra that was stuck in the mud, and in the space of the live at the waterhole, by the end of the show they'd actually managed to pull the baby zebra out and save it and relocate it back to its mother that was still close by. So very special to save these creatures. Alright, I think we've got some interesting visitors to Oldonyo. Why don't we head back to Oldonyo and see what's popped into the pan? Oh, look what we have here. So it's two different elephant bulls that have just arrived to this pan here in Oldonyo in Kenya, and we've got some eland that have also pitched up. They look like they're in great condition. One of Africa's largest antelope, very well known for being incredible at jumping, very athletic. They can jump even 2-3 foot fences in order to they don't stay in game reserves always too well. They can clear a fence no problem. Incredible to see these eland here. I haven't seen eland for a while, but yeah, it looks like 3-4 lovely ladies. The male eland are a lot bigger in size, got that gaping jula flap, very thick in the neck, and their horns are also much thicker than the females. So with eland, both male and females do have horns, just the male's horns are a lot thicker. So I've got some more comments coming through. So Johanna Conroydy is watching from Claremont. Welcome to the show this afternoon, Johanna. I hope you enjoy watching the show with us. And excuse my pronunciations on some of these names. Kut Shemba is also watching today and is asking how often do we see crocodiles. So Kut Shemba, Tau is one of the best locations for us to see crocodiles because it's quite a big watering hole, but we haven't been seeing these crocodiles the last couple of weeks. Oh, folks, we have 1 ton has just joined us, yeah? Check at this massive tusker. I think it is 1 ton. Wow, check at this big guy. He hasn't been around for the last couple of days. Last time I saw him was last week Friday. But check at this massive giant elephant that has just joined us here at the watering hole. What a privilege to see this elephant. Lovely to see this guy. I think it is 1 ton. If any of our viewers know that this is not 1 ton, please feel free to let me know, but I think this could be 1 ton. So he's got a very, very big left tusk, shorter on the right hand side. What an amazing sighting. Wow, look at this guy. Thank you for joining us. He's not often, doesn't stay for very long, so we really have to take in and enjoy these moments. The other big tusker elephant we've had that came in the last week, his name was One Tusk. Also had a very long tusk on his left hand side and missing a tusk on the right. So One Ton is a famous super tusker elephant known in Kenya. He is known for his very calm demeanor. He has a massive tusk. He has been a beloved figure of Africa and greatest Amboseli elephant. He's known to be over 50 years of age. Isn't this crazy? So Catherine is just confirming that this is One Ton. Not too familiar with all these massive tuskers, but I have seen One Ton a few times on the show. This definitely does look like him. What a privilege it is to see this incredible beast. So over the years, One Ton has faced a lot of challenges, including multiple serious wounds, which he has sustained from fighting with other bulls. So if you have a look at One Ton with his long tusks, it can make it quite difficult for him to actually be able to fight with other elephants. I've seen some elephants that have actually had such long tusks that they crisscross in the front, and they actually have to lift their trunk up and over their tusks in order to feed or drink, and this can make it quite difficult for these elephants to fight with other bulls. Apparently in 2001 he was treated for a deep wound to his neck, which did become infected. So a team from the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust in Kenya did work together in order to sedate him, clean the wound, and administer some antibiotics. Otherwise, if nature took its course, he might have passed away. So incredible work being done by these organizations in this area in order to protect these incredible... That was a little bit of thunder. Sorry for that, folks. Sorry, that was a massive bit of thunder and lightning that is just hitting the mountains behind us. A bit of a storm arriving here in South Africa. Apologies for that terrible noise, folks. So another incident where One Ton has got some injuries was also in 2024. So he was again spotted with a bit of an injury, and they did decide to give him some treatment there. Incredible that he's still with us, still alive, still roaming this incredible planet, that we can see him. What a privilege. Check out this big boy. As you can see, at some stage his right tusk has probably been broken, and that's why it's a lot shorter than his left tusk. But still, they're both very well worn, well used. But those tusks of his could break quite easily with that length. But have a look at the unique formation and shape that they're in, the way they curve and the way they arch. That can be a very unique characteristic which can help you identify different elephant bulls. That was a crazy strike of thunder and lightning that just struck outside the house here. So I live in Little Falls, and we get quite big storms here, so apologies for that loud noise earlier. We've got a lot of comments coming through. Sorry, I've got a lot of comments coming through. Just going to try and catch up here. So Charmed Chaos is sending through a comment about this gorgeous or very handsome elephant. Thank you for sending through your comments. Wildlife Lady, yes, it is wonderful to see this incredible elephant bull, One Ton, over in Old Donyo. Apparently, some of the viewers have commented that he has been frequenting this pan every couple of days, or at least a few times a week. So it seems like he's going in a cycle of every Thursday to Friday, because it was last week Friday that I last saw him. I'm not sure if any of the viewers have seen him in the week. Definitely while I've been live at the waterhole, we haven't seen him in the afternoons. So yeah, sometimes elephants have a bit of a route that they take, and then they kind of end up back in the same area to drink from some safe watering holes. So a big elephant like this, he needs to be very careful of poachers, not to wander too far out of the park, and also to go to areas that are safe for him to drink. Joanne Miller, it is a privilege to see this incredible elephant. See a lot of comments from Johan as well, and Jessica, Mindy. Yeah, lovely to see this massive elephant tusker and to see him hanging around. The last time I saw him, he was probably on screen for less than 2 minutes and then he was gone. Mindy, apologies for making your cat jump. That lightning gave me a bit of a fright. My heart is still beating at 100 miles an hour. Yeah, sounds like our mission control also has the storm is approaching that side as well. So yeah, lovely to see this elephant. I'm just still in awe at this incredible elephant that we're looking at here. I'm getting a comment from Jessica. So the one-tusked elephant is actually called Lobola, and apparently his missing tusk was unfortunately his biggest tusk, and he is known for being one of the closest to 1 ton, so one of the next biggest elephants. So thank you so much, Jessica, for that information. I'll definitely save that because we were looking for his name the other day. Couldn't quite find him, so thank you so much for that info. I'll save this aside here. Yeah, just so we know of some of the other big elephant tuskers in the area. So very, very special to see this guy. Thank you, 1 ton, for joining us today here live at the waterhole. I feel like all of our time and patience has definitely paid off, and you get to see such an incredible elephant here. Nice to see that these elephant bulls are all drinking in peace and harmony with each other. No politics so far, because sometimes when you have big elephant tuskers like this, there can be a little bit of politics amongst each other, fighting for prime drinking spots at the watering hole, or in most cases it'll be for the freshest drinking water that comes directly from the outlet. So yeah, lovely to see them all drinking here peacefully together. These incredible tuskers that roam the African bush. Oh, this elephant bull here on the left seems to be having an itchy leg. So obviously big elephant bulls like 1 ton, they are very much monitored and watched by the conservation organizations in the area. Sorry folks, we just lost our feeds for a moment there. We have come back to Jamala, which is also in the Madikwe Game Reserve as well. So very healthy population of impala here. You can see this, all the grass around this watering hole is quite flat. Obviously lots of antelope coming down to feed at this watering hole. So Lara Moore says that 1 ton reminds her of a massive tusker called Mostondo. Let me know, Lara, is this Mostondo? Is he still an elephant that is in Kenya? Yeah, I'll have to have a Google of him. I wonder if he's still alive. I know a lot of these large tuskers, shame they are so much targeted for that ivory of theirs. But it'll be amazing to know where this elephant is from, Lara, if you don't mind sending through that information. Yeah, what a lovely day here. Lovely cloud cover. Looks like we got some blacksmith lapwings down at the watering hole. I'd love to see if there's any little 3-banded plovers. I love those little birds. They are very cute. Often overlooked, same as sandpipers at watering holes like this. You often overlook those little birds. Alright, we have got our feeds back. So why don't we head across to Aldonio and see if 1 ton is still there. Still got 1 ton is still with us, folks, so thank goodness he's still around. Shame you can see this elephant. He has a lot of stories to tell. Such a big boy. I wish we could tap into his brain and stick a memory stick into the back of his brain there and kind of just tap into his memories and all the experiences and things that this elephant has seen. Imagine an elephant at the age of about 50 years old. Imagine how much he has seen in his lifespan. So having a look at this one-tusked elephant called Lobola. So apparently it is a young elephant bull in Kenya, and he was named as a wedding gift by Henry Palmer as part of the Tessa elephant gin range. So his name did come from an old Swahili term referring to the bride price paid by a husband to the bride's family. So that's where he gets his name, Lobola. So he was found with multiple spear wounds on his rump and back leg in 2019, and it could have been caused by some human-wildlife conflict. So he was treated and is in very good health. So this is quite a cool story about this elephant, how it does highlight the challenges of elephant conservation. What are these boys doing? That elephant's got a really itchy leg there, doesn't he? Keeps scratching himself. Very strange. So amazing how these elephants have such resilience and can survive a lot. So they do come into a lot of conflict with humans, these elephants, but nowadays there's so many organizations that are working closely with communities and conservations to mitigate and reduce this human-wildlife conflict. Check out this big guy. Just such a privilege to see this incredible elephant. It's probably the longest time I've had him on screen for. He's normally here just for a couple of minutes. So we got a question from Joanne Mello is asking, does 1 ton hold the record for the biggest tusk? So just trying to have a look here. So apparently 1 ton, even though he does have very enormous tusks, very famous elephant bull in Kenya, he does not have the record for the largest tusks ever recorded. So apparently the heaviest tusks ever recorded belong to an elephant that was hunted in Kenya in the late 19th century. And this pair of tusks weighed 224 pounds on one side and 214 pounds on the other. So it was a total of 100 kilograms on one side. So one of his tusks was 102 kilograms and the other side was 97 kilograms. Can you imagine carrying around almost 200 kilograms of tusks with you every day? So it's incredible. Another big elephant bull, which I'm sure you've all heard of, includes Tim. This elephant's tusks, one tusk currently weighs 160 pounds, and the other side is 130 pounds. Massive weight for an elephant to have to carry around every day. Imagine carrying around 200 kilograms of tusks with you. How crazy. These elephant bulls look very calm and relaxed with each other. This elephant on the left-hand side, or on the other side of 1 ton here, his tusks look tiny in comparison, don't they? Tim has been seen in a lot of photos. Incredible elephant, also very well known for his calm and quiet demeanor, Tim. And yeah, incredible photos of this big bull. So it's amazing how when young elephant bulls are young, they do seem to not manage to cope too well with their musk period. So when they have those elevated levels of testosterone in the younger years, it can be a bit difficult for them to deal with that. But the older they get, the more used to their kind of musk, and the more calm they are, even if they are in musk. So Lara Moore, so Lara's asking about, imagine chasing after elephant bulls with spears. So again, a lot of ancient African cultures, people did used to chase after elephants and hunt elephants, or especially big animals like eland and buffalo, with spears. Nowadays it's not so much a common practice, so I think a lot of these incidences that do happen now, it's more due to human wildlife conflict, elephants breaking into vegetable gardens and crop raiding, as it's known as. It's where a lot of human wildlife conflict will happen. So that's why education in this case is such an important tool to be able to preserve and protect these incredible creatures. So Bill is noticing quite an interesting behavior with one ton. Apparently Bill says that one ton does love to twirl the end of his trunk while he's drinking. So yeah, it's very interesting if you notice different elephants have different behaviors while feeding and drinking. I've also noticed in West Africa with forest elephants, some of them also like to kind of twist their trunk at the end and give it a little bit of a flick just above the water when they're crossing a river. It helps them to be able to smell anything that's in the area. Yeah, so it's interesting how these, just like humans, elephants also have specific habits and characteristics that they might favor. So Dark Main Lover, if you missed the beginning of the show, it is Kerry. I am here with you today, here live at the waterhole. I hope you're enjoying this incredible site that we have, Dark Main Lover, with 1 ton. What an amazing opportunity we have here to see this incredible elephant live at the waterhole today. Oh yes, cat fan. So cat fan's mentioning about Craig. Have to have a look at some photos. I think Tim has longer tusks than Craig, but Craig is still a very impressive elephant tusker. I've seen photographers taking photos of him, and he's also very calm, very relaxed, an incredible elephant to take pictures of. Yeah, so a lovely elephant, these big tuskers that are still left in Kenya. So some of Africa's largest tuskers are still left in Amboseli in Kenya. Obviously Kruger National Park, and there's still a couple also in Tembe. There used to be a total of 50 massive elephant tuskers. I think that was until the early 2000s, but now I think we're down to about 20 or 25 massive elephant bull tuskers that we are still left with. So very special to have these incredible beasts still roaming the planet with us. Giraffe also hoping to come in for a bit of a drink. Enjoying watching these incredible elephant bulls. Hopefully these giraffe can come down for a drink. So while we're talking about incredible adventures and elephant tuskers, just want to remind you about our option for Wild Earth Travel. So Wild Earth Travel does bring you an authentic personal safari experience, connecting you with wonders of Africa. So if you want to explore the landscapes and wildlife that you know all too well from watching Wild Earth and get closer to some of your favorite characters, please feel free to scan the QR code on screen now or visit the Wild Earth website at wildearth.travel in order to go and see what incredible and exclusive safaris experiences are available. Obviously, with a lot of these safaris, there are limited spots available, so you want to go and book some of these incredible safaris as quickly as possible to have a great wildlife experience at some of our locations. Wow. Still in awe of this incredible elephant that we're sitting with right now. I'm surprised these giraffe are feeling brave enough to come down for a drink with two big elephant bulls here. Yeah, the elephant, big 1 ton, you can hear him sucking up some water. So we had an unusual question here from, let's have a look. Where's this question from? About siring. How many elephants, how many calves? There we go. From Deb Davis. About how many offspring might a giant elephant bull tusker like this sire? So obviously nowadays we're getting a lot of elephants that have short tusks or tuskless individuals because it's all about genes and genetics. So obviously the less tuskers we get out there, the less their genes are being spread, and the more elephants we're getting with shorter tusks. So a big elephant bull like 1 ton, Craig, Tim, Labola, in his lifespan he could sire anything between 80 to 100 calves. It's quite a large amount of little ones to sire, but yeah, it's so important that these big elephant bulls are still around and they can still spread their genes and their DNA, so we still have these massive elephant tuskers around. So obviously DNA studies on wild elephants do confirm that a small number of dominant bulls father these individuals, so a number of calves. So the dominant bulls will father or sire more calves than the less dominant bulls, and this is from the females, so the females only allowing more dominant individuals to mate with them. So Ellie, yes, these giraffe do need to be careful with these elephants around. So you can see they will be a little bit nervous and skeptical. Shame this poor female is still being harassed by this big male giraffe. Again, he looks like quite a dominant male and perfect mate for her to also have sire her offspring. Yeah, I feel like Fuzzy Dunlop is commenting on this other young elephant bull that is with 1 ton. So it would be quite beneficial for younger bulls to join up with such a massive individual like 1 ton. No one wants to mess with a big elephant bull like that. So it might, one, help to give protection for these younger bulls. A very good companion out there in the bush. So Lara Moore is asking about how does an elephant not make mud inside its trunk while dust bathing after drinking, or vice versa. So elephants are quite pedantic about the water that they drink. If they can drink clean water, they do much prefer to drink clean water. And in a lot of cases you'll hear, if maybe an elephant has been dust bathing, when it goes to a watering hole, it might suck water up into its trunk and squirt it out in order to clean its trunk first before drinking. Just like as with humans, we don't like to drink dusty, dirty water, same as elephants. So they'll often clean out their trunk before they actually take a bit of a drink. How many elephants have we got? Giraffe have we got here? Now there's so many giraffe all over the place. So some more giraffe hanging out under the tree. So we had another question from Taxi Lady from the UK, who's asking, do elephants have territories? So Taxi Lady, elephants don't have strict defined territories unlike some animals, but they do have home ranges. Oh, something has bothered this elephant ball. A little bit nervous. So yeah, elephants, Taxi Lady, do have home ranges, so they do have large areas that they frequent and move through in search of food and water. And in order to get their social interaction. So especially big bulls like this 1 ton, he's a massive guy, and I'm sure he's very much selected the areas that he likes to feed in, that likes to graze in, and the areas that he likes to come and drink. Elephants have some of the best memory of all land mammals, so they're very much able to remember all the places that are not safe, that they've maybe had a bad experience, that there's human-wildlife conflict. So big elephant bulls like 1 ton, Craig, Tim, they'll try and avoid these human-wildlife conflict areas. It's the younger bulls that are looking for an easy meal that tend to be the troublemakers going raiding crops, just because they know that it's a very easy meal. But elephants like 1 ton, a lot older bulls, might be a lot more cautious of breaking into farms to raid crops. So Jessica sent a comment about the location she's at. She's getting some very grumpy elephant bulls recently. Apparently last night there was an elephant bull that kicked an impala away. So yes, these elephants can be a bit boisterous, can get grumpy, especially if they're in must. Multiple times we've seen elephant bulls chasing animals away from this watering hole. So especially smaller watering holes like here in El Doño, there's not too many available spots to drink at, so elephants can chase other animals away from watering holes. Or like the other day here in El Doño, we had the elephant bull chasing the guinea fowl away, which I don't think the guinea fowl are going to drink too much, but he didn't want to share his watering hole that day. So Emma Judson is also confirming that elephants can be quite boisterous. And apparently she was watching here live at the waterhole last night, and there were some elephant bulls that were being a bit pushy around the watering hole. So yes, Emma Judson, that does happen. Elephants can be very protective over their water sources, and pushy when it comes to sharing with other species. So Dark Mane Lover is asking about how many tuskers do we think that there still are left in the world. So obviously we're sitting here with very huge privilege to have 1 ton, a very famous elephant tusker bull with us. And as I said, Dark Mane Lover, I think until the mid, say 2020, 2019 there was about 50 elephant tuskers that I've seen in some literature, but I think now we're probably down to about 25 big elephant tusker bulls, which are splayed between Amboseli in Kenya, Kruger National Park and Tembe National Park. So between Kenya, South Africa, and Tanzania, there's still some very big elephant tusker bulls over in Tanzania. So I think we're down to about 20 or 25 individuals. I found different information on different websites. So still a few of these big boys still left around, and thanks to all the organizations that work tirelessly to protect these big elephants for us. So Sarah from the UK, yes, for a change, the giraffe have definitely outnumbered the elephants here in Oldonyo. There's definitely been way more giraffe, although even though there's more giraffe than elephant, if one of these elephant bulls tried to chase all these giraffe away, the giraffe would all be in the mind, they'd still have to run away, I guess. They wouldn't want to mess with the elephant bull. So you can see these two young giraffe males are Flem and Grimace. They are checking to see the estrogen levels of this female giraffe. She's just urinated. These males are having a sniff to see if she's ready for mating. I don't think they will be picked or will be good suitors or decent males, because there's a big male giraffe that is roaming around in the area that is a lot more impressive than these two youngsters. These quite young bulls. I wonder where the bigger male has gone to. So we've got a question from Nadine about why do we think that here at this watering hole in Oldonyo we only see big males. We don't often see breeding herds. So Nadine, I had to give that a bit of a Google because I'm actually not 100% sure, but you are 100% correct that we've only ever seen bulls here, especially big bulls. Apparently, according to Google, the breeding herds are rarely seen in this area because the area primarily attracts the large elephant bulls rather than family groups. This could be linked to the Chulu Hills where Oldonyo is located. It does serve a key habitat for these big tuskers, and the bulls do frequent these large watering holes. So the breeding herds do tend to remain in the greater Amboseli ecosystem where food and water are more abundant and the terrain is more suitable for raising calves. So that could be a good reason. This area where the camera is located is not a suitable terrain with regards to being able to raise little baby elephant calves, whereas the greater Amboseli ecosystem on the other side of the Chulu Hills offers a more safer refuge for these family groups to breed. So I hope that answers your question, Nadine. It's a very good question. I have actually been thinking about that. So it could also be this hilly regions around this area. Maybe elephant cows don't want to try to brave the Chulu Hills in order to get to this region. Why don't we just have a bit of a quiet moment to listen to One Ton as he splashes himself with water. It's a very big privilege to be able to watch this incredible big elephant tusker, very famous elephant bull that we have, that has graced us with his presence today. So trying to get to some of our questions. Just really wanted to have a moment just to listen to this special elephant bull 1 ton. So we have another comment that came through from Emma Judson about the elephants that she witnessed fighting and battling it out last night in the watering hole. So yes, Emma, this is a common occurrence. Elephant bulls do duel and fight with each other from time to time. Sometimes it's more of just a play fighting, not too much of an aggressive, serious fighting, but in some cases, if the younger bull or less dominant bull doesn't give in and respect his elder, then it might progress into a more violent fight, where again, like we mentioned, 1 ton has been stabbed a few times. If you look at those long tusks of his, it makes it very difficult for him to fight back for himself, so it can end in a bit more violence if a less dominant bull does not step down in time. So Catherine is also sending through a comment for us. So apparently Catherine's theory on why we don't get so many elephant breeding herds in this area. So the elephant breeding herds also need to have a bigger water source for everyone to drink, whereas in this area it seems like the watering holes are a lot smaller. So thanks for your comment there, Catherine. Definitely agree with you on that one. If you have a look at this little watering hole, even just for these elephants and a couple of giraffes, there's not much space here. When a breeding herd comes down to a watering hole, they surely do take up a lot of space, need a lot of water to drink. I mean, imagine if 1 or 2 elephants came to this, breeding herds of elephants came to this watering hole. I'm sure they would very quickly finish all of this water that is inside this pan. So yeah, not an ideal place for a breeding herd to come and drink. So apparently Bill said that he has seen 1 or 2 breeding herds coming to drink at this watering hole. I'd love to know the size of those breeding herds you saw coming through, Bill. Again, it's a pan, a watering hole, anyone is allowed to come to this area. You might have some breeding herds moving through that might pop in for a drink, but I don't think it's an area that the breeding herds would stay for long periods of time, just because of the lacking of large water holes. So Lion 8 is also asking a question about, in my experience, what is the rarest animal you've seen in Africa? So actually quite cool that you asked that, Lion 8. So some of the rarest animals I've ever seen in Africa would have to be in West Africa. And I actually just recently had the privilege of being able to see one of Will Buerd's articles that he wrote on a camera trap survey that he did in West Africa, in Congo. And he managed to capture some incredible rare animals on those camera traps. If you want to go and have a look, give a quick Google. I'm sure you'll find that by Will Buerd, or I'll also put it on my Instagram. You can go and have a click there and have a look at some of these incredible, very rare species that were seen. The most rare species I think I've ever seen is a water chevrotain, which is known to be one of the most rare antelopes, and it's it's the only one of its kind left. Very unusual small deer antelope, which is especially designed and developed for plunging into the water, and it actually has fangs. So it's a swimming antelope, tiny little, almost like a duiker looking antelope with fangs and a very unusual coat, which helps it swimming in the water. So water chevrotain is one of the most rare antelopes I've ever seen. And then another one that has caught my attention is the African golden cat. So another very rare cat that can be seen in the jungles of West Africa. I've only ever seen it once, but if you have a look, Will Buerd's photos, I'm sure you will have a great sight in there. Alrighty, well, I think 1 ton is going to hang around here for a bit, so why don't we go have a look at Tembe and see what's happening at one of our other locations over in South Africa. Nice to see a young elephant bull here at Tembe Elephant Park. I wonder if we're going to be lucky enough to see a breeding herd. Don't see breeding herds very often in Tembe, and it does look like we have a lovely breeding herd of elephants today. I've come down to Tembe, to the pan here, to have a good drink. You can see them feeding on those branches of the acacia tree. So it's been quite an elephant-filled afternoon. We've had lots of elephants today. And what a privilege to see one ton over in Oldonyo as well. Some massive tuskers here in Tembe Elephant Park over in Maputoland, South Africa. I've been to Tembe before, and I've never seen such elephants with such long tusks. Probably my top 3 tuskers, elephant tusker bulls that I have ever seen have been here in Tembe. So very famously known for having these elephants with very long tusks. So just have a bit of an update from our locations. I saw that Kachava had made a kill over in, I think it was on Chitwa. We got a really cool sighting of Kachava with the kill. I know Cedric is happy days because he's been having some great leopard sightings. I think Cedric is in his element, glad to be back in the bush, glad to be on a new location exploring. So really awesome hunting techniques by Kachava there. Managed to pull that like impala up a tree. So yeah, really awesome sightings of some leopards that have been on the live drives at Sandringham. Looks like it's a lovely location, nice views as well. See quite a few beautiful sunrises with nice landscapes. Oh, this elephant on the far left there doesn't look like she has much fur left on her tail. Can be pulled out and they can lose their hair as well from time to time. You often get elephants that also break their tails off as well. It's not uncommon. They can easily break their tails off, while youngsters can break their tails off if they're being hunted by predators like hyenas or lions. And adults can also break their tails off while moving through the vegetation. Yeah, it does happen that they do lose their tails from time to time, these elephants, so it makes swishing insects away a little bit difficult. Check out this youngster. He's probably about, I'd say, 5 to 6 years old, this young elephant. Still looks like he's a young bull that's still a little bit feisty. So we got a question from Talon, who's asking, is it true that each elephant bull has its own musk cycle? Do they go into musk concurrently with a population? So yes, so each elephant bull has its own musk cycle. It's not all elephant bulls don't go into musk at the same time, so they don't experience musk at the same time, each population. So each bull has its own cycle. They experience these heightened levels of testosterone and hormones that rush through their brains. As we mentioned early in the show, some elephant bulls, when they're still younger, they struggle to manage this elevated levels of testosterone. That's when you can get a lot of very grumpy elephant bulls. But the older they get, like 1 ton, the more they are used to this testosterone levels and the less grumpy they get. So the timing of this musk can vary in different areas quite significantly and between individuals, and the factors that do affect this musk is age, their health, as well as environmental conditions, which are factors that can affect an elephant's musk cycle. So our Laura is asking if elephants ever intentionally spray each other with water or with dust. allo grooming. Laura, I have seen elephants spraying each other, but I won't say that they go and spray another individual to help them groom each other. Yes, elephants are very much social creatures and do bond quite a lot, but there's not too much allo grooming, I would say, in elephants. They're more bond with each other by forms of touch. So they'll have to touch each other, and yeah, that's kind of their way of bonding with one another. Touch and communication. I wouldn't say that allo grooming is too much a part of elephant life cycle, or too much part of their social interactions. Got some Egyptian geese there. Oh, looks like there's some clouds brewing in Tembe. I wonder if they're also going to receive some of the rainy weather that looks like we're experiencing here in Johannesburg. The rain seems to have stopped a little bit, but looks like this elephant cow is having a bit of a wallow, or giving her bottom a scratch in this mud wallow. Let's see with this female elephant cow how much thinner her tusks are. So females, elephant cows, their tusks are a lot thinner than the males. Generally don't grow as long either. What else do we have at this location? We had a juvenile African fish eagle that we saw earlier in the week here at Tembe Elephant Park. So I wonder if he's still hanging around. He was up in the trees on the other side of the watering hole that the elephants like to chill under, or sand bath under. So I wonder if he's still around. Alright folks, why don't we head across to Simpavati and see what's happening at one of our other locations today. We have some zebra here over in Simpavati waterside and the Timbavati private game reserve. Looks like a female on the right and her youngster on the left, as well as a blacksmith lapwing coming down for a nice afternoon drink. Looks like a bit of a wind, a little bit of an afternoon breeze. See, when a lot of animals come down to watering holes like this, we were talking about crocodiles earlier, they have to be very skeptical, very aware of what's happening around them, because not only can something ambush them from behind, but crocodiles could also be lurking in waters like this, waiting to make a bit of a kill. Just having a scan around to see if there's anything else at this watering hole today. Anything else coming to visit? Any predators lurking close by? I'm not too familiar with this watering hole. It does look like it gets quite a lot of frequent visitors coming down, so you can tell at watering holes if it's a busy watering hole by the disturbance at the water's edge. You can see lots of elephant dung here. It shows that lots of elephant breeding herds possibly come down to drink. Hopefully you find some tracks. It's always worthwhile having a walk around a watering hole, seeing if there's any tracks in the mud. It's very nice and clear to see those tracks. Often, if you're lucky, maybe you can find a serval tracks or caracal tracks, leopard, lions that might have come by in the early morning. Always have a very good scan before you get out of your vehicle. Maybe you'll be unlucky and there's some lions lying underneath a bush and you bump right into them. So always have a very good scan before getting out your vehicle. Or maybe you're like Steve and bump into some lions. I heard Steve has done that on a few occasions, bumped into some lions when getting out the vehicle to have an off the vehicle segment. The zebra are still around. I think they've got a few zebra in the background there, giving each other some love and grooming. So allo-grooming is a behavior in zebra. So they will groom and clean each other as a way of bonding and forming those very tight social bonds and connections with individuals in the hari. So when zebras shake their heads like this, there's a botfly that does lay eggs in the noses or nasal canal of zebra, and often it causes a lot of irritation when this botfly maggot is feeding away at the zebra's flesh. Sorry, it doesn't sound very delightful or pleasant, but yeah, especially this time of year, rainy season, botflies are out and about and around, and shame when the zebra shakes their heads like that. That can be a sign that they have maybe a botfly living in their nose. Their life cycle doesn't last too long, so normally after a week to 10 days they will pop out of the little burrow that they formed in the zebra's nose. So it's not life-threatening, it just can be quite irritating. Just like the mango flies. I don't know if anyone in southern Africa has ever had a putsy fly or a mango worm. Again, they will lay their eggs in your clothing on the washing line if the clothing is damp. If you don't iron your clothes, they can also burrow themselves underneath your skin as well. Get different sizes in different areas. Mango flies or mango worms, I think, are the biggest that I've ever seen. Not a delightful thing to have living under your skin, shall we say. Just having a scout, having a scan to see what else is here. Anything hiding under the bushes, anything lurking in the grass. A lovely road driving across this dam. It's a nice place to pull up and then just have a sundowner, wait to see if there's anything coming down for a late afternoon drink. Nice African fish eagle trees. I wonder if there's any hippo or crocodile that live in this pan. Ooh, looks like we also have a giraffe. Giraffe bottom with some zebra bottoms. So Dark Mane Lover is asking if elephants have ever killed lions by tusking them, or by any other means. So Dark Mane Lover, elephants have in many cases killed lions. Elephants do not like lions. A lot of documentaries or a lot of cases when you watch interactions with lions and elephants. As soon as there are lions in the area, elephants will chase lions away. I know on Juma, and many times there's been elephants that have all of a sudden, when they smell lions, they get upset, they're not happy, they will very actively chase lions away. They fear that they might try to kill their little babies. So there have been a few cases of elephants killing lions. The lions do have to be very careful, because it would be very easy for a lion to be killed by an elephant. That wouldn't be difficult for elephants to kill them at all. So that's why lions need to run away, stay clear of elephants. Unless they're in a big pride, then you do have prides of lions that have become very accustomed to hunting sub-adult and young elephants. In some areas like Zimbabwe, Botswana and Zambia, but again it needs to be these big prides that have especially learned how to hunt. Oh, look at this little baby zebra. Isn't this cute? He looks like he's only a couple of days, maybe a week old. A very small little baby zebra. How adorable. So talon, yes, most African animals or antelope do have a fear of crocodiles at watering holes. They do need to be very wary, very cautious, otherwise they will learn very quickly. If they get a member of their family taken in front of them, they will definitely learn quickly. But at small pans, they might not be too wary or cautious of crocodiles. But either way, when an animal has its head down drinking, just like we saw the other day over in Old Donyo on the Africam camera, when that buffalo was having a drink and a lion was stalking him from behind. So even if it's not being eaten by crocodiles, there's still the chance that they could be taken by a predator, ambushed by a predator on the other side of the watering hole as well. So you need to be very cautious while drinking. Same as giraffe. Giraffe are very cautious while drinking, because if they fall down as well, giraffe would be susceptible to not being able to get back up again. Looks like we've got some little wax balls or some fire finches close by calling. I'm dying to see a fish eagle. It would be nice to see a fish eagle up in a tree here. So Trixie Rose is asking our viewers a question. If anyone remembers the time a giraffe female trampled a lion to death after the lion tried to take the giraffe's calf. So Trixie, I can't remember that incident, but I have heard of a few stories. So if any of our viewers remember Trixie's incident, or the incident that Trixie's mentioning about when a giraffe trampled a lion to death because she was protecting her calf. So again, nasty kick from a giraffe. Lions have to be very careful when hunting these big mammals, because even a buffalo can give a very nasty underhook and rip a hole in a lion. All the buffalo has to do is turn its head and use its horn. Those big bulls have very nasty sharp horns. They can inflict and cause a lot of damage, a lot of injuries, and buffaloes are also very well known for disemboweling humans, leopards, lions. So to be very careful. Those buffaloes can be very nasty, very aggressive. There's a reason that it is one of the formidable big five species. It does kill a lot of people in Africa, those buffalo. And in many cases, I do know people that were actually their lives were saved by a jacket or a backpack that got hooked or caught onto the buffalo's horns, covering its eyes, and that's the only thing that saved some rangers' lives. So there's a lot of rangers out there that put their lives on the line every day that they walk out in the African bush. They could bump into some hungry lions, bump into an angry buffalo, get trampled by a herd of elephants. So yeah, just a lot of appreciation to those rangers out there that protect all these wilderness areas for us. Alright folks, why don't we head across to one of our other locations and check out Shalati Sunrise. Oh, we have some elephants having a pool party. Check at this. What an unusual sighting. This is Shalati Sunrise in the Kruger National Park. So it looks like they have crossed the river here and are going for these reeds. Oh, there's a little one. There's a youngster. I wonder if they're crossing the river and are getting stuck. I hope these elephants aren't stuck here. Let this baby, I hope it doesn't get washed down the river. Come on, little one. So there's some young bulls that look like they're feeding on the reeds at the river's edge here. I hope this young one is not going to be washed away by the stream. Oh, there we go. Got a trunk. Oh, one coming back. Hope this is a mother that's retrieved our little baby that was being washed away. So yeah, there are some bulls here and the breeding herd. Looks like they're having a great pool party, just enjoying the river. Maybe some of them are also feeding on these reeds. They're not very, these reeds on this river's edge are very spiky, nasty things. Oh, there we go. Okay, baby has been saved. Little baby's struggling to fight the current. Thank goodness its mother's there to push it along the way and keep it safe and sound. Look at this little guy. It's going to be exhausted after this trip crossing the river. It's just like a puddle of elephants here. There's quite a few elephants all in one little area, all on top of each other. It's quite unusual. You don't often see breeding herds all swimming together. It's very common to see elephant bulls, but lovely to see a breeding herd crossing the river. Maybe they're moving to greener pastures. This elephant looks like he's had a long week, giving his eye a bit of a rub there. Looks a bit tired. Oh, lovely elephant pool party. The little path, the little narrow path that they're getting out of, so it looks like they're all crossing the river, maybe downstream where the current isn't as strong, and then slowly making their way up along the river's edge while they grab some takeaways, some food on the go to munch and chew. There's a few tuskless females here. The last two females that have come up, this one and the previous female, both tuskless individuals, probably from the same family. We've got a lot of comments coming through here about our elephant pool party from Perry Du Bois, Mindy, Darkmane Lover, Illy, and yeah, just about our elephant pool party happening here. What a lovely sighting to see an elephant breeding herd that's obviously crossing the river, going to greener pastures on the other side in order to feed, and yeah, also having a bit of a snack along the way. Few babies also joining us, so thank goodness they have their mothers with them to help push them so they don't get caught in the current. Seems a little bit deep for the youngsters. Oh, look at them playing, having a great time. Seems like it's maybe a hot day in the Kruger. I'm sure we've all, if you've been to the Kruger National Park, you've stopped along the river, and yeah, enjoyed watching the elephants have a swim. This is probably what you would see if you were closer up to these elephants, but yeah, what a lovely sighting. This is the Sabi River here. Look at this lovely sand. I would love to join these elephants for a pool party. I'm not so much a big fan of that thick black dark mud, but look at this lovely sand. Nice white sand that is normally in the Sabi River. So the Sabi is one of the most prominent rivers in Kruger National Park. It does flow through the park's southern region, providing a very vital source of water to all the wildlife. It is a significant feature of the park, and it does form a large part of the landscape, supporting a very diverse ecosystem and provides water during the dry season. So look, it's quite a big breeding herd that have all come down to the water for an afternoon swim. Oh, another little baby. So often when elephants are crossing a big river like this, I've seen little baby elephants, they often clutch and cling to their mother's tails, and she drags them through the water so that they don't get lost. Because a little baby crocodile would love to eat a little baby elephant if it is on its own. So they need to keep very close to their mothers. I love how different these elephants' colors are when they've been through the water. They're very dark in color, almost black at times, and then their ivory is very white. This young sub-adult bull is not keen to leave. He's like, I don't want to leave this water. He's having such a great time. Perry Du Bois, this is a lovely scene. It's just nice to see the bush so green and thick, lots of food for all the animals. It can be hard seeing the bush during the dry season when everything's dry. I know it's better for game viewing, but it's just a bit hard to see the animals struggling for food at times. In Wangi National Park in Zimbabwe, where we had the grey-crowned cranes earlier. My last safari in the park in December, there was so many elephants, a lot of dead elephant carcasses, females and babies that had been left behind. So what happens is during this time, the drought, a lot of the elephant, as soon as the rains arrive, a lot of the breeding herds will travel to areas of the park where there is water. So it looks like we found our fish eagle over in Tembe. Why don't we head across to Tembe and have a look at that fish eagle? Oh, have a look, folks. We've got our little juvenile African fish eagle here, and he's caught a fish. Have a look in his talon on his left-hand side. He's got, it could be a little catfish. He's just made a kill. The catfish is not that big, but he's struggling to fly off with his kill. Sometimes if they've got a kill like that, another bird of prey might come in and try to steal it from him. What an epic sighting. We were trying to look for this juvenile fish eagle yesterday, but we could not find him on his little perch. Just seen him. He's made a kill, and now he's trying to find a safe place to eat his fish. You can see he's still a bit of adolescent. He's still got a lot to learn. Needs to strengthen those wings of his. There we go. Maybe if we're lucky, he has landed in a tree close by and we can watch him feeding on his fish eagle. His fish that he's caught for lunch. Oh, there we go. So these African fish eagles will, most of their diet, as in their name, is fish, but they will sometimes catch small snakes. They have seen them catching other smaller birds as well, like sometimes little sandpipers. So they are carnivores. They do have a variety of a diet, but most of their diet will comprise of fish. Oh, be careful, guy, don't fall off there. So again, as soon as these fish eagle, they'll sit in a tree just above the water and very meticulously calculate the distance and time it's going to take them to swoop over and catch a fish. And once they've caught their prey, they need to make sure they get up into a tree off the ground as soon as possible, otherwise they could lose their meal to another predator. What a cool sighting. So Ellie, yes, I think this young fish eagle is very inexperienced with carrying his prey away. Yeah, you can see, so most big birds of prey, like your fish eagles and a lot of your, most eagles, like crowned eagles, fish eagles, storks as well, can take a very long time to develop their adult colorations. In some birds, it can take up to 5 years to get their full adult colors. I think fish eagles is about 4 to 5 years. So he's still young. He's still learning how to be a fish eagle. He's still learning a lot. A fully grown adult fish eagle can drag a fish that weighs a few kilograms away. I'm sure this fish is probably less than 500 grams. Whoop, don't fall, guy. So you see, he's trying to open up this fish. He was standing with both of his feet on the fish, trying to rip open a section of the skin that he can start feeding on. But yeah, he's still young. He's still learning, just like people as well. We all go through those adolescent phases when you've left home and trying to figure out how to feed yourself, how to keep yourself alive. It can be a very confusing time, but I'm sure this fish eagle will do just fine. Yeah, those Egyptian geese calling in the background there. So these fish eagles, their juveniles can be very easily confused with osprey. A few times I've got them a bit confused. But yeah, juvenile fish eagles are much bigger than osprey, and also they have a bit of a color difference as well. But yeah, still incredible to watch this fish eagle making a kill today. I hope he doesn't fall out of the tree with his fish. Doesn't seem to be doing too well. This fish eagle's patience has paid off, and he's managed to catch himself a nice fish, so that will probably sustain him for at least 12 to 24 hours. But he's going to need to catch something else in the next probably in the next 24 hours. He'll need to make another kill. Still trying to figure out how to get it to this fish. Shame his balance is not so great. I think he needs to do some yoga. I think some yoga would very much help this fish eagle. He's not doing well with his balance. So now I've got it in the left talon. They've got very sharp talons, these eagles. Sort of assists them with their hunting, just like with the see, crowned eagle. So crowned eagle can actually take down small antelope, even little baby impala, and they use that sheer force and surprise. So they take their prey by surprise, they glide in with sheer force, knock their prey over, and then wrap those talons around their prey's neck. I know in some cases, even in Tanzania and Kenya, there have been recorded cases of these fish eagle taking bigger prey. Up and off our fish eagle goes. I think he's going to go and try and find a more suitable branch in order to consume his lunch. Well, it was lovely to view that bit of a kill. How awesome. I wonder where he's flown to. Alrighty folks, well unfortunately our fish eagle has taken off, so why don't we head across to Stony Point and enjoy some nice calm ocean vibes for the last few minutes of the show. So welcome to Stony Point here folks in Cape Town. It looks like a bit of a dreary day in Cape Town. We've got a little rock dussie or hyrax, a very fluffy and looking quite round. They always look very well fed, these little hyraxes. They spend very little portion of their day actually moving around and feeding. The rest of the day they pretty much just spend chilling up on the rocks, just taking life a little bit easy. These little hyraxes live in colonies in very rocky regions. Colonies anything between 3 to 60 individuals that can all live in a colony. As I mentioned, they're not very active, but they do have some interesting modifications. Very interesting modified teeth that are very sharp, so that when they go down to feed, they make themselves vulnerable by going down into the open to feed on grass. They are herbivores, and they can chew and eat a lot of food in a very short period of time. They also have a modified brow, which helps to protect their eyes from the sun as well, because they do spend a lot of time out in the sun, and they need to be able to look out for predators. Quite interesting, the adaptations. Another adaptation of these hyraxes is their little toes. They've got these stubby little toes that help them climb on the rocks very well. So Deb Davis, thank you for joining. Yes, I have been to Stony Point. I have been to Cape Town. I must say I've been in the worst times possible, August and September and December, so the weather was quite awful. I was not a fan of the weather, and that you can't really swim in the ocean, otherwise you'll definitely freeze. I don't know how those little penguins do it. It is very cold water, but Cape Town is a very great location to visit in South Africa. Go down to Stony Point, see some little hyraxes, those penguins. I know during COVID there was some caracal that were also seen at Stony Point. What a lovely sighting. Check these little eyes. These hyraxes also have modified hair that helps to insulate them from the cold. You can imagine how cold it gets down there in Cape Town. I also was wearing 500 layers of clothing in the 5 different seasons you get in a day in Cape Town. So their coats help to protect them from the cold Cape Town breeze and weather. I wonder if we've got any penguins today. Let's have a look for some penguins. Alright folks, well I'm going to end a little bit earlier today so we can enjoy the very calm, relaxing sounds of the ocean. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining us today. Lots of comments, lots of questions, so thank you Wildlife Lady. It has been a superb session of Live at the Waterhole. Please don't forget to tune in to the Sunset Safari coming up next. I will be seeing you next week live at the Waterhole, same time, same place. Have a lovely Friday and great weekend. Cheers folks.